Hello everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. Today I thought we'd just have some fun with little collage pieces. I've been really enjoying using up these mail envelopes that I've got. They're US Airmail, I guess, and they have this really fun border. But they're a bit on the thin side, so I can't really use them for tuck spots and stuff. They rip too easy. So a viewer said that they were thin because it's cheaper to mail them, which makes total sense. But I really like using them as an accent border or just as a little snippet piece, just to really pop other elements. So we did these little focal points in the last video where I like to have them ready to go and glue them in. And I thought we could play with these today. I also have these left over. I've been doing a leftover kind of cleanup, though you wouldn't think that right now because I come and sit down and go straight to work again playing with these papers. So I find it breaks up the creative flow if I tidy up in between until I'm ready to start a new project. Hope that makes sense. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. I hate cleaning. So I thought we'd use some of these up. These are, I did a video on using up scraps at the end of a project. So when you're making a journal and you have all these pieces left over, I glue and sew them together or sometimes just glue them. And now I can use them up. So they've got these built-in textures ready to use, which is really handy and makes projects kind of move quickly. So let's start with an envelope here. I'm going to take this guy and just chop it up. And these are kind of the sizes I'll work with. Maybe this big one here. That one's a bit ripped, so we'll put that aside. Let's work on some of these like this. So I really like these black and red borders. I find them quite striking for composition-wise. They remind me of the US and they remind me of the UK because of the flag colors. And I think they're really fun pop of color inside a little snippet, or what is this called? Cluster, not a snippet, I guess. And make little clusters ready to go in a journal. That's the plan. So I'm just gluing the backs down. You could try making pockets out of these, but like I said, they're a bit on the flimsy side. So I don't think they'll be very effective for that. You'd have to reinforce them. So in my case, I'm just going to use them flat like this. So now I would use up one of these and kind of put this right in front. And I have instant texture and things ready to go. So this one I could actually wrap around and extend it out. I've been having fun doing that lately where I kind of make different size shapes. I find it adds quite a bit of interest to things. It's fun to kind of change the shapes and dynamics of things when you're playing with paper. At least I think so. And I just like to add a little something extra, maybe a little unexpected, you know? So this one maybe we'll keep simple. I'm gonna cut it up like this. Just glue it straight down. So this is also using up some scraps and supplies kicking around. And that's why my desk still looks like it has in the last couple of videos, because I'm still using these up. And then I'll probably end up making more on my next journal. These are really handy to have too, because you can add them to the journals, just slide them in the pages, and whoever you're giving the journal to or selling it or whatever, or using it yourself, they are ready to, they're ready to use and stick in a journal super easy. Let's use this piece and maybe this piece here. And I just love that they're instant texture. You know, I'm not here for hours gluing pieces down. I've worked with some pieces that I've done in the past, and I like working on projects like this because sometimes I don't want to invest all my time in making a journal. So there we go. So we got our 3 here. Hopefully I'm in footage here. Let me just move the camera out a little bit more. Make sure that, because I tend to work close to me. Okay. So now I can add things to it, whatever I want. I can add washi tape. I can add stickers. In this case, I have lots of book pages. And I like this technique where I put down my cheapy dollar store medical tape. And I like to pull the ink off. So I'll do this a few times. I've really had fun lately experimenting with gluing things down and tearing them off, and the really cool textures they leave behind. I've shown that a few times in other videos, but this one's really fun because it's still very transparent if you can get the tape to cooperate. But yeah, it leaves this really cool transparent. This tape is not working for me today because probably because I'm filming. And nothing goes as planned when you're filming, when the camera's on, of course. There we go. I'm just going to stick it right down. And I'll do one more. And it's neat because it's like I was saying, it's transparent still. And I just pull it off. And it also leaves a really cool page behind. So you can see it's kind of got a old vibe to it, which I like. And then I just keep a little collection of this handy in my scrap pile. And then this page is also really fun to use because it looks really worn and weathered with the ink missing. So the tape can't be super sticky, otherwise it just rips the page right through. And of course it's lost a lot of its stick. It's a little sticky, but you still have to add glue to it to make it work. So then you got this really cool page to play with as well. And that goes in my scrap pile. And yes, do I solve the scrap problem? No, I do not. Constant scraps. So let's just grab a ruler, tear this up. Oh, and another thing I've been doing too, which I meant to show you, is I do like ripping pieces up like this and breaking up the pattern by using rough edges. So I'll put something like this throughout and just have fun kind of collaging papers. Using up real tiny pieces you might have on your desk is fun too. And this is just my way of doing these little clusters while they're sitting on my desk. I find it really kind of therapeutic in a way, just playing with this stuff. And then I like to add something like the borders off that side of the envelope. So it just breaks up the perfect ridges and gives it more of a little bit of a collage vibe, which is kind of fun. So then I would cut pieces off the envelope like this. So I just trim around the envelope, and it's folded, of course, so I unfold it. And I put this striking pattern and bold color in there. And if I can just get it open, there we go. Now I have this really cool piece. So I'll glue a piece of that in there like this, just to tie the whole thing together. And then I'll use one of our focal points that we worked on last time. So I don't know if I have any little ones left. A little bug here, little mushroom. These guys are a bit big. I'd probably use them maybe on a bigger cluster, some birdies. And they don't have to be framed, of course. You can just use whatever you've got. Washi tape's really fun for this too. Just gonna pull a few out. Okay. So let's see what we got here. This guy's really cute. He's off my new digital set. And I just printed him in black and white, shrunk it right down. But the original actually comes in color. There we go. Something like this is fun too. All right, let's put some of this tape in there too. I think I want some of this behind it. I really like this tape. Just a little. Let's just rip it. Just to break this line up a bit. It's too perfect for me. And then we'll put that like this. So I'm going to ink this up a little, kind of tone down that envelope. I don't even know what I've got on there. I think that was, what's this one? Corduroy something? It's a bit yellow for this. So I'm going to go back to my trusty vintage photo and really grunge it up. Make sure everything's glued down. That envelope, there's something about it that makes it feel even older. I don't know why that is, but it does to me anyways. Tone this background down a bit. We'll put something like that. Maybe this. Kind of like it poking out the bottom here. Feel like I need a piece of that blue and red right there. Where'd that piece go that I had? Oh, Michele. Oh, this will do. Just a little piece like that's perfect. One day I'll get it right. There we go. Just a little introduction of that color. All right, let's commit. So sometimes you can use tiny little things that you find kicking around. You don't have to use the whole thing. You can just use the accent of it. So in this case, the edges of the envelope are something that is just an accent and kind of pops these little snippets. I glued these, I say this in every video if you are following me, but I glued them to a paper before I cut them out. And for these projects that I've been working on, they're a bit too thick. So now I kind of have to peel them off. Kind of made more work for myself. Got a little ripped, but that's okay because it just makes it look a little older. We're not fussy here at the Creative Cove. And then maybe a number. I had a number that I liked that I pulled out. This one. I like that one. Or maybe the red. The red or... No, I like this one better. And just stick that down. So when I glue things, I like to glue things and I pay attention to the linear lines in things. So I'll glue in between a line, like I wouldn't glue this lined up with this line. I think it helps just break up and make the composition more interesting. So you want to be mindful of where you are gluing things when you make a focal point. Just so it kind of offsets the composition a little bit and makes it just a little bit more intriguing. So that's one. Where'd our other guy go? Let's try this one. I think we'll add a little bit of tape to this guy as well. It's like making your own washi tape, only without the sticky backing. Because you got to add a little bit of glue on there. So much fun though. Okay, and we'll just do something simple, like maybe the bird. I want to break this line up a little bit. This one's just too much. So let's find something that I can wrap around. It's a bit too bold. Something like that. And then we'll break that up with something, maybe some more tape. And just have fun. collaging. I mean, you can't do it wrong. You're just going to have fun doing it. As long as you're having fun, then that's all that matters. And again, I'm just mindful of lines. So I just watch where my lines are, my lines of paper, and where they sit. So I'll show you what I mean here. So if I were to glue this one this way, I wouldn't line this one up with this line here. I would offset it, and it makes it more interesting. This one's going to go this way. So I think I will go with a bigger image, maybe. That's too big. I think these are all too big. Bigger birdie, so maybe I will go this way. So same thing, I'm just looking quickly at my lines. I might trim this down a lot more. So it's hiding just a little bit too much of my background. And these little focal points make things like cluster making so easy. And I frame them because I like that look. You don't have to frame them. You can just take a focal point and stick it down. But there's just something about a frame that I really like. That way, or should I go this way? I could go right out like that. That's kind of fun. So this line, see how it's lining up? I instantly notice it. It drives me nuts. So I'll just shift it in a smidge. I like that. We'll do that. I put glue right to the end, which I didn't need to do, but these are my little sketches, my little digital sketches too, these birds, and I just took them and shrunk them down like, I think 50% on this one and maybe 75% on that one. So you can take your digitals and print them and then put them on. I have to go to a printing place. I don't have a printer at home, but I just play with their machine and shrink things down, blow things up. So I get a little bit more bang for my digital kits than just printing them off the way that they were designed. I can shrink them down and reuse them. Just want to break up this. I don't think I like that color. So I've got everything going vertical except the bird. So now I think I'll pop some more pieces of vertical lines so that it balances a little bit more. It just kind of softens in the focal point. And then, of course, we're going to use our trusty envelope decor. So you could probably buy this in a washi tape, even this design. And maybe put some of this in there. And again, I'm not going to stop it here and right here. I'm going to pull it up a little further, just so nothing lines up perfect. And that's just my taste. You know, that doesn't mean that you're going to like that. Maybe you like things all lined up perfect. There's nothing wrong with that either. I just think it adds a little bit more interest when there's a break in the line. I'm just going to add just a smidge of this red down here, just to visually tie these colors together. Don't like it there, so I'm going to move it here. And then we'll find something just to finish it off. So maybe this guy right here. And then we'll ink it. I'll leave the backing on this one. And these make for such cute little accessories in a journal that you can just glue into a page or tuck into a spot, throw in an envelope. They're just a treat to look at. At least I think so. And they really didn't take much. And like I said, you don't have to use digitals. You can use your own sketches. You can use washi tape. You can use anything you want. Okay, let's maybe do one more. Did I cut one out? I did. A bigger one. Let's use this Airmail. This could be fun. Okay, so bear that in mind. And we'll soften it down using our tape. So I've got these harsh lines here. Let's break them up a little. Again, I really love this. I'm going to do a video on how I do my torn paper collage, so that I have those ready to go as well. Do I have a sample on my desk here? Yeah, these here. So they're just torn paper glued down, and they're a great base for, they're like another version of these pieces here that I showed you earlier, these ones. So these are just straight and sewn. These ones are torn and glued. And of course you can sew them as well. But they're another really great way of using up scraps off the top of your desk after a journal. So maybe use some of this. Is that paper not so much fun? I just love it. The simplest things give me so much joy. Isn't that wonderful? So this is kind of what I do with the those papers I just showed you. But we start the whole thing with this. There's no border or anything. So you see, it's just softening those lines. Now, if you like the lines, leave the lines, of course. But I've had so much fun playing with torn paper and sticky tape like that, that I can't resist. I'm just going to clean this edge up so I know where my edge ends. Okay. All right, we might be able to use a big guy on this. This is the next digital kit I'm working on. I haven't finalized it yet, but it will be coming out at some point soon, I hope. These are my bugs. I just love bugs. I just love the shape of them. I don't know how to explain that either. All right, something like this. This guy's very crooked here. Let me just try and clean that up a little. Okay, so maybe we will turn this one this way. What do we think? Put it right in the corner. Have a tuck spot on a... That could be fun. I don't know if I want it this way, just because it might be too wide for my journals. So I think I will chop this off and stick this down here. And I'm also going to thin this line out. It's a bit too bold for the look I'm after. These pieces could be fun. There's little snippets here. So I will just make it a little wider. All right, let's do that. Okay. There we go. So it just got a little red and blue poking out, which is kind of fun. And then maybe use this airmail that we were talking about before. And I just build as I go. I maybe pull out a few key pieces that I like these focal points, and then just kind of go in a direction and see where it takes me. I like these pieces. Do something very kind of linear and graphic here. Really play with it. Use this guy maybe. I'm going to cut this extra white end off. Tuck that in there. It's kind of fun. Let's do that. And what's nice about these clusters too is you're building it up, and if there's something you don't like, you just cover it with another piece of paper. I've done that before too. Okay, she's barking. Hopefully she'll be quiet for a minute. It's really hard to film a video without her barking at something. Okay, so let's use something like this here and break up that, just again, breaking up those edges so they're not quite so perfect. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to ink this now. Now this is starting to peel up a bit because I don't have my super strong glue left. I have to get some, and I haven't been into town. I have to go to another town for that glue. So I might sew around this. I'm not going to do it in the video, but again, you can add more texture with sewing. How much fun is that? If you have a sewing machine, and if you don't, you can fake sew and draw little lines, which I've shown before. I feel like it needs a little something in here. So I've got the intense color down here, but nothing going on up here. So to balance that, we'll maybe use a little piece of tag or something, or if you had a little piece of red paper. That's too big. So I wouldn't use something like this because it competes. Right? Your eye doesn't go to one specific spot, and I want my focal point. So when I'm looking at this, my focal point has become this, not this anymore, because this is much more bold, which is okay. I just shifted it. So when I choose something just to finish off the end here, I want to make sure it doesn't visually compete with things. So it's sometimes size, it's sometimes texture. So you see the difference there? This just makes it feel more balanced because it's smaller and it's not bold. When this one is bigger and with the bold outline is now drawing my eye up here so that they're competing. When this one I put there and it just softens it, at least in my opinion. And that's what I love about making these little clusters. And I find the more I play, the better I get at them. The more, not better, but the easier it becomes, that they instantly feel a little bit more balanced without overthinking it, because it's very easy to overthink these things and then get frustrated. So that's really cute, just like that. I mean, you could do more, you know, you could always do more, but I just like to leave them like this, make them pretty simple. Where'd our other one go? Here it is. And then they just make for the funnest little intros into a journal. So what have I got here? I don't have a lot of things worked on this journal yet, but you can just glue them right in. You know, you can tuck them in, and they make these really cute little pullouts that are intriguing. You know, you want to touch it, you want to look at it, and that's the whole point, at least for me, for junk journaling. That's what I love, because I'm not much of a writer, but I do love textiles, and I love to touch things like this, which is why I do what I do. So there's some other ideas. This one I didn't finish, so I'll leave that out for now. And just using, so you can see what I mean by focal point, and just really playing with these little mail envelopes. So if you find some, grab them. I got these at the thrift shop for like 15 cents or 50 cents or something, and I probably have about 20 of them left, and they make some really nice little punches of color. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more, and please share and comment below on what you think of today's video. It's much appreciated. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.